Caitlin Clark, one of the most electric scorers women's basketball has seen in years, is being told not to shoot. Meanwhile, her teammate Kelsey Mitchell, who just went 8 for 24 in a game, is being told to let it fly, even if she hits nothing but the backboard and the rim is crying for help. Welcome to the current Indiana Fever experience, a team that drafted the biggest college basketball phenom in recent history, only to clip her wings, hand the keys to a volume shooter, and call a rebuild. And if that sounds like bad coaching, bad management, and bad vibes wrapped in one, it's because it absolutely is. Let's dive in, because this team's problems run deeper than the box score. If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. Caitlin Clark was never supposed to be this quiet. When Caitlin Clark landed in Indiana, the expectations were sky high, and for good reason. She wasn't just a scorer, she was a walking logo 3, a playmaker, a spark plug, the kind of player who could pull up from 30 feet with 2 defenders in her face and still have a shot you bet on. But now we're watching a version of Clark that looks muted, hesitant, like she's not playing her game. And according to multiple reports, it's not by choice. Head coach Stephanie White, in her infinite wisdom, has reportedly asked Clark to dial it back. Don't shoot as much. Focus on driving. Facilitate. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell, an established player but not exactly a beacon of efficiency, is being told to shoot through everything. Slumps, air balls, double teams. It doesn't matter. She has a green light all night. So let's just be real. The Fever drafted Caitlin Clark, gave her all the press, all the promo, all the promise, and then bench her play style. And for what? Loyalty to a system that hasn't worked in years? The Kelsey Mitchell dilemma. Volume without value. Look, nobody's saying Kelsey Mitchell can't play. She's been in the league for a minute, and on her best nights, she can cook. She's aggressive. She's confident. And she's not afraid to take the big shots. But the problem is, she takes every shot. Let's talk numbers. A recent game saw her go 8 for 24. That's a 33% shooting clip, for those doing the math at home. Not horrible once, but this isn't a one-off. Mitchell's game is built on high volume and often low efficiency. And yet, every time she pulls up from mid-range with 17 seconds left on the shot clock, the coaching staff is clapping like she just saved the season. Where's the accountability? Where's the strategy? If you're going to build a team around a high-volume scorer who needs 20-plus shots to get 18 points, you better be stacking wins. But the Fever? They're at the bottom of the standings with zero chemistry and no offensive identity. The question isn't whether Kelsey Mitchell is talented. It's whether this system, where she's a focal point over Clark, makes any sense. And spoiler alert, it doesn't. The coaching philosophy that's sinking the ship. Stephanie White might have had a decent run in previous coaching gigs, but what's happening with the Fever right now is painful to watch. You got arguably the most offensively gifted rookie in the league, and she's being told to pass first while the team clings to outdated pecking orders and traditional leadership hierarchies. It feels like White is coaching like it's 2008, as if trusting a rookie, even one like Caitlin Clark, is somehow disrespectful to the vets. Newsflash, development doesn't mean suppressing talent to protect egos. It means building around your best pieces. And right now, Clark is a Ferrari sitting in the garage while the team keeps rolling out the 2015 sedan that doesn't start in cold weather. Clark is a floor spacer. She's a scorer. She wants the ball. You can practically see her on the court biting her lip every time she swings it to a teammate who clanks an open 3. Let her play. Let her shoot. Because if this is your franchise player, and it is, you don't build her confidence by turning her into a glorified decoy. The Chloe BBY signing, a band-aid on a broken leg. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about the most Indiana Fever move possible. The signing of Chloe BBY on a 7-day contract. Now, no shade to BBY. She's a shooting big, which in theory can help the team spacing. She's 6 feet tall, can stretch the floor, and offer something the team lacks, a scoring threat from the front court. But here's the thing. You don't bring in a stopgap floor stretcher on a 1-week rental unless your roster is in full panic mode. The Fever are patching holes instead of addressing the foundation. They missed out on Emma Meesman. They failed to land serious bench depth. And now, instead of rolling with long-term development, they're plugging in short-term options, hoping one sticks. It's a front office flailing to prove they're doing something. Anything to fix the mess. The truth? It's cosmetic. And until the system changes, number 7-day contract is going to save this team. What this does to a locker room. Let's step back and think about what this means behind closed doors. When you're Caitlin Clark, used to being the focal point, used to carrying teams, used to being trusted with the offense, and now you're standing in the corner while your teammates ignore you. That creates tension. When Mitchell is taking 20-plus shots no matter how cold she is, and the game plan stays the same, that's not just a coaching issue. It's a morale issue. What message does it send to the locker room? That experience trumps efficiency? That loyalty matters more than winning? That the future is being sidelined for comfort? It's not sustainable. And if the coaching staff doesn't course correct, they risk burning out the very player they should be building around. Clark might not say anything publicly, but you better believe she feels it. Act 6, what the Fever could be if they weren't so stuck. Let's play the what-if game for a second. What if Indiana committed fully to Clark? Build an offense around her shooting, her playmaking, her range? Ran stagger screens, pick and pops, quick curls. Stuff that actually gets her in rhythm? What if they surrounded her with shooters who move off ball instead of statues waiting at the three-point line? What if they said, "This is your team now. Let's grow with you." That version of the Fever? That's a playoff threat within 2 years. That's a team people actually want to watch every night. That's a franchise with an identity. Instead, we're getting a slow-motion tug-of-war between the future and the past. And right now, the past is winning. The fans see through it. If you think Fever fans aren't paying attention, think again. They see Clark getting iced out of plays. They see Mitchell chucking 22 shots a night. They see the rotation choices that make zero sense. And they're not buying it anymore. There's real frustration brewing in this fan base. Not because the team is losing, but because the team is wasting what could be something special. It's not just bad basketball. It's bad management. And if the team doesn't pivot soon, the noise is only going to get louder. What needs a change? So what's the fix? It's simple, but not easy. Let Clark be Clark. Build the offense around her strengths. Reevaluate Mitchell's role. Focus on efficient, modern basketball, not loyalty politics. And for the love of all that is strategic, stop treating 7-day contracts like long-term solutions. The Indiana Fever don't need to tank. They already have their star. They just need to trust her. If they don't, someone else will. And the last thing this league needs is Caitlin Clark wasting her prime in a system designed to hold her back. What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark being sabotaged by her own coaching staff? Should Kelsey Mitchell be coming off the bench? And will Chloe BBY even finish her contract before the next shakeup hits? Drop your takes in the comments. Flame responsibly. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into sports chaos, franchise flops, and every weird decision the WNBA serves up next. Because when drama hits the hardwood, you know we'll be there watching, analyzing, and shaking our heads the whole way through. Elephant in every sports locker room, the politics of seniority. In the WNBA, just like in the NBA, the NFL, even your local rec league, there's this deeply ingrained hierarchy. Veterans eat first. Newbies have to earn their shots. Even if those newbies are walking highlight reels who could torch half the league blindfolded. So when Caitlin Clark shows up as a generational talent, one who's literally revitalized viewership, filled arenas, and single-handedly sparked national WNBA debate, she's still expected to play behind people like Kelsey Mitchell, simply because they've been there longer. This isn't about analytics. This isn't about performance. This is about egos, tenure, locker room pecking order. And when your coach is too afraid or too traditional to shake that up, your team suffers. Stephanie White isn't running an offense. She's running a sorority hierarchy. And if you think that dynamic doesn't impact on-court chemistry, think again. Players see who's favored. They feel who gets the benefit of the doubt. And when the person carrying her offense is getting told to drive and dish while another teammate shoots 3 for 17 and gets praised for being aggressive, it's not just a bad strategy, it's toxic. The Caitlin Clark silencing strategy, media versus reality. What makes this even messier is the PR spin. If you ask Fever management, Caitlin's doing great. The media-friendly version of events is that she's adjusting to the pro game, learning the system, and developing her all-around game, which sounds inspiring. Until you remember that Clark just spent 4 years torching defenses with no mercy, dropping 40-foot threes, and casually recording 30-point triple-doubles. And now, suddenly she's being told to defer, to learn from Kelsey Mitchell? Come on, this isn't about development. It's about containment. The Fever didn't realize what they signed up for. They drafted a supernova, and then panicked when the gravity started pulling too hard. So instead of leaning in, they're trying to dim the light, control the narrative, package Caitlin as team first, while slowly reshaping her identity into something more manageable. But here's the catch. Fans aren't buying it. Every time Clark gets iced out of fourth quarter, every time she touches the ball once in 3 possessions, while someone else throws up a contested jumper, the fans see it. They see the tension. They feel the frustration. You can't media train your way out of bad basketball decisions. Not when the replays are right there. Is it sabotage or just incompetence? Here's the million-dollar question. Is this a deliberate sabotage of Caitlin Clark's role, or is it just good old-fashioned mismanagement? Honestly, it might be both. On one hand, it's easy to assume that no WNBA team would intentionally sideline their number 1 overall pick, the one who sold out arenas before she even signed her rookie deal. But on the other hand, the Fever's actions are so consistently baffling. It's hard not to wonder if there's a deeper resistance at play. Is the coaching staff resentful of the attention Clark's brought? Are they trying to humble her? To force her to conform? Are they worried that spotlighting a rookie too soon will fracture locker room dynamics? Or are they just so lost in their own outdated philosophy that they genuinely believe turning Clark into a pass-first role player is the right move? Either way, it's a failure. Because even if it's not sabotage, the effect is the same. You got one of the best scorers in women's basketball history being treated like an afterthought on her own team. And the only thing more painful than watching a player get overhyped is watching one get undermined. The missed opportunity with Emma Meesman, another symptom of the Fever's dysfunction. Let's rewind to something that flew under the radar, but speaks volumes about this franchise's direction. The missed chance to sign Emma Meesman. Meesman is a proven winner, a former Finals MVP, a versatile big who could have anchored the Fever's front court, set screens for Clark, stretched the floor, and protected the rim. She would have been perfect. But instead of sealing the deal, the Fever let her slip away. Again, why? Because this front office can't close. Whether it's misreading the market, lowballing offers, or just having no vision, Indiana is consistently a few steps behind every other serious contender in the league. So instead of running pick and pops with Meesman and Clark, one of the most potentially lethal duos on paper, we're watching emergency 7-day signings like Chloe BBY get thrown into the deep end with no support, no structure, and no real plan. It's not just bad management. It's a wasted opportunity. Clark's development is being delayed, and that's a league-wide problem. Now, let's zoom out for a second. Caitlin Clark isn't just a Fever issue. She's a WNBA issue. This league desperately needs stars who move the needle, who boost ratings, who bring in new fans and put the league on the map for casual viewers. Clark does all of that and more. But if her development gets stunted because one franchise can't get its act together, the whole league loses. The buzz fades. The interest dips. The casual viewers tune out. You don't just risk wasting a season. You risk wasting a moment. And if Clark starts to feel boxed in, muzzled, misused, she could walk. The overseas offers will always be there. The endorsement deals won't stop. And if the WNBA wants to retain this kind of talent, they have to make it worthwhile. Not just financially, but competitively, respectfully. Because right now, Clark's being asked to play small when she was born to play big. And that's not just bad for Indiana. That's bad for the WNBA. Act 13, the locker room energy is off, and you can see it on the court. One thing you can't fake in sports? Body language. Watch the Fever's games closely. The tension is baked into every possession. Clark running off ball, wide open, waving her hands, and getting ignored. Her teammates going ISO, forcing contested layups, and walking back on defense without even acknowledging her. The exasperation is palpable. There are no high fives, no in-game chemistry, no celebration when Clark scores, unless she does off a hustle play or a fast break. This isn't a team learning to gel. This is a team refusing to evolve. The older players don't trust a rookie. The coaching staff is enabling them, and the front office is watching it happen like it's not their problem. You can build around that. You can't. Act 14, the path forward. Blow it up or build around Clark. So, here's a reality check. This team has two options. Option 1, blow it all up, start fresh, accept that the old pecking order isn't working, and make Clark the true centerpiece. Bring in shooters, defenders, veterans who know how to complement, not compete, with a young star. Or, option 2, keep pretending this is working. Keep pretending Mitchell is your alpha. Keep pushing Clark into a role that doesn't suit her. And watch your team circle the drain while fans get fed up, sponsors raise their eyebrows, and the league misses out on what could have been a generational moment. The Fever have a window. It's still open, but it's closing fast. The Caitlin Clark conundrum: one star, two futures. This is the heart of the story. Caitlin Clark isn't struggling because she's not ready. She's struggling because she's being held back. And whether it's coaching ego, locker room politics, or front office confusion, it all leads to the same sad conclusion. The Fever don't know what they have. Or worse, they're afraid of it. They've got the league's most marketable star, a once-in-a-decade scorer, a player who could lead a franchise into the next era of women's basketball. And instead of letting her shine, they're trying to shrink her down to fit an old system that hasn't won anything in years. It's maddening, it's frustrating, and honestly, it's embarrassing. So unless things change, unless they stop playing politics, stop running outdated schemes, and actually let their best player be their best player, we'll be back here again. Same complaints, same losses, same wasted potential. Caitlin Clark deserves better. The fans deserve better. And frankly, so does the game. What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark being sabotaged or just mismanaged? Should the Fever clean house and start building around her now? Or is there still hope for this team to figure it out before it's too late? Drop your takes and comments. Sound off on the coaching. Suggest trades. Tell us who's helping or hurting this team the most. And don't forget to subscribe, because if the Indiana Fever keep tripping over themselves this hard, we'll be right here, mic in hand, breaking it all down. See you in the next one.